Welcome back, students, in the series of online classes. Today, I am going to start a new chapter, that is congruence of triangles, or simply you may call triangles. So, after we finished the chapter lines and angles, we have discussed many problems from that chapter and one revision class also. So after that, today I am going to start a new chapter, that is triangles. Children, as you know about the triangle, what is triangle? You have learnt in your previous classes that a closed figure bounded by three line segments. A closed figure bounded by three line segments is called triangle. Triangle has 9 elements. A triangle in total has 9 elements, or you may call 9 parts also. Elements and parts are the same meaning. A triangle consists 9 elements or 9 parts. What are they? They are 3 sides. A triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles. A triangle has 3 angles and 3 vertices also. Vertices are that point where two line segments meet each other. They are called vertices. That point is called vertices. Vertices is the plural of vertex. The point at which two lines meet each other is called vertex, and the plural of vertex is vertices. So, in overall, this is some short introduction about the triangle. That triangle is a closed figure bounded by three line segments, and it has 9 parts, that is 3 sides, 3 angles and 3 vertices, which all of you have learnt in your previous class also. But in this class, what you have to learn is that, you have to learn a new topic related to the triangle, that is congruence of triangles. Congruence is a new word to you, and this is very important part of your portion, that is geometrical part of your portion. So you have to understand it and think logically to solve the sums related to the congruence of triangles. Because it is a geometrical part, it has logical solution, not simple calculations. So now today I am going to discuss what is congruence. Congruence means, or you may call it congruent also, two figures having same shape and size are called congruent figures. Any type of figure. Example of congruent is like two coins of ₹5 coins. More example of congruent figures is two mathematics books, textbooks of maths of your class. They are the congruent figure examples. When we talk about the congruent figure, that is means that when one object put on the another object, then one object superimpose the another object. Means when object kept on another object, then one object, it seems that both objects seems like a one object. That is the case of congruent or congruence of the figures. But now in your class you have to do some more example of congruent figures, like two circles having same radius are the example of congruent figures. Two squares having the same sides is also an example of similar figures, and many more in such a way. But in your class you have to learn the congruence of triangles only. So here I am going to discuss the congruence of triangles. When two triangles are said to be congruent. As you know that any two figures having same shape and size are said to be congruent. So two triangles having same shape and size are called congruent triangles. Triangles consist sides and angles only. So two triangles are said to be congruent if their corresponding sides are equal, if their corresponding angles are equal. So when two triangles having the same shape, design and size, that is the length of the side, then the triangles is said to be congruent triangles. It means that when you put one triangle on the second triangle, then one triangle superimpose the second triangle, or two triangles seems like a one triangle. That is the case of congruent triangles. When one triangle superimpose the other triangle is said to be congruent triangles. There are some criteria through which we make the two triangles congruent. Now we will discuss these criteria in brief or in detail. So here the first thing is that we have to understand what is congruent triangles. So the congruent triangles means when one triangle put on the other triangle, two triangles seems like a one triangle. That is the case of congruent triangles. And in that case, both triangles are said to be congruent triangles. So you keep this in your mind and make it clear. Now I am going to discuss in which criteria, in which conditions, what are the criteria or conditions for the congruence of triangles. In which circumstances two triangles are said to be congruent. So there are mainly four criteria. There are mainly four criteria for congruence of triangles. And altogether we read 5 criteria also, but I will tell you later that fifth criteria is actually a corollary of one of these 4 criteria. So in overall we have to mainly 4 criteria for the congruence of triangle. Number 1 is SAS. Here S represents for side, A represents for angle, and again S represents for sides. So you may call it side angle side congruence rule also. Or in short you can write SAS condition, SAS congruence rule. What is SAS congruence rule? Two triangles are congruent if two sides and the included angle of one triangle, two sides and one included angle of one triangle are equal to the two sides and the included angle of the other triangle, then the two triangles are said to be congruent by SAS condition. Let's understand it by drawing a figure. We suppose here that two triangles ABC and PQR. And in triangle ABC we have AB equals to PQ. Corresponding sides are equal. And one angle B is equal to angle Q. And another side BC is equal to side QR. So in these circumstances you see that one angle included between the equal sides, if this angle is equal to this angle, then in that case these two triangles will not be congruent. So this is the situation for congruence of triangle by SAS rule. Now the second congruence rule is ASA. Here A represents angle, S represents sides, and again A represents angle. Congruence rule. This rule is two triangles are congruent if two angles and the included side of one triangle are equal to the two angles and the included side of other triangle. This is the condition for congruency of triangle by ASA. Here you can see that the side is between two angles. So two angles and one included side of one triangle are equal to the two angles and one included side of other triangle, then the two triangles are said to be congruent by the ASA conditions. Students, I will suggest you that first of all, you must clear your all criteria of congruency of triangles in well-mannered so that wherever the application is required, you have no any confusion in applying the criteria of congruency. So let's understand by figure also. Again we take two triangles, triangle ABC, and triangle PQR. In this triangle, we see that angle B is equal to angle Q. Similarly, side BC is equal to side QR and angle C is equal to angle R. So here you can observe that two angles of both triangles are equal. And one of the included side between the two equal angles are also equal in both triangles. In such circumstances, these two triangles are said to be congruent. Now there is a corollary of this condition. If any another side AB, suppose BC is not equal to QR and AB is equal to PQ, then it will be congruent or not? Then it will be also congruent, but that is not by the condition ASA. Then it will be condition AAS, means angle side. Because when two angles of two triangles are equal, then it is obvious that third angle must be equal. So when this side is equal to this side, this angle is equal to this angle. So this angle is equal to this angle is also in case of ASA. So this is also called AAS condition. Third one is SSS congruence rule. SSS congruence rule is what? If three sides of one triangle are equal to the three sides of another triangle, then the two triangles are congruent by the condition SSS. Here S represents the sides, that is side. Let's it be clear through the figure. Let us suppose ABC and PQR are two triangles in which all three corresponding sides are equal. That is AB equals to PQ, BC equals to QR, AC equals to PR. It means all three corresponding sides of this triangle are equal. So in this situation, in this case, you can conclude that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. Here side AB corresponds to PQ, side BC corresponds to QR, side AC corresponds to PR, and vertex A corresponds to P, vertex B corresponds to Q, and vertex C corresponds to vertex R. So when you write the triangle in symbolic form, congruency, then you must take care the correspondence side, correspondence vertices, and correspondence angle. So a triangle ABC, you may write similarly symbolically like this: triangle ABC congruent to triangle PQR. This is the symbol of congruency. But if we write triangle ABC congruent to triangle QPR, then it will be wrong. You must write the correspondence vertices or correspondence sides or correspondence angles. If the vertices, sides or angles are not in correspondence and written in the symbolic form, then it will be wrong. So you must take care while you writing the congruence of triangle in symbolic form. Now the fourth condition is RHS congruence rule. Here R is for right angle, H for hypotenuse and S for side. Don't get confused that it is right hand side. I am again repeating. Here R stands for right angle, H for hypotenuse and S for side. RHS congruence rule. If in two right triangles, this is applicable in only right triangles. If in two right triangles, the hypotenuse and one side of one triangle are equal to the hypotenuse and one side of the other triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. In such situation, two triangles are said to be congruent. Let's understand it by figure. We suppose ABC and PQR are two right triangles, right angle at B and Q respectively. So AC and PR are their hypotenuse. So here if angle B is equal to angle Q and AC is equal to PR and any one side of remaining two sides are equal to the corresponding side, like either BC is equal to QR or either AB is equal to PQ, any one, then we say that these two triangles are congruent by the condition RHS. Here angle B is equal to Q, AC is equal to PR and BC is equal to QR. So in this situation, these two triangles are said to be congruent by the condition of RHS, that is right angle, hypotenuse and side. So these are the four important conditions of congruency which I have discussed today, and I hope that all of you understand it clearly. So first you understand these conditions very clearly, then the solving of problems will becomes easier.